Chapter 1, Stand Up Straight with Your Shoulders Back, An Expansive Journey into Resilience and Meaning. In the opening chapter of 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos, by Jordan Peterson, we embark on a profound journey that resonates deeply on both an emotional and intellectual level. Peterson's eloquent prose, blending psychology, philosophy, and personal anecdotes, serves as a compelling invitation to explore the complexities of life and the quest for meaning within them. Recognizing life's challenges. At the outset, Peterson acknowledges a universal truth: life is inherently challenging. It is a reality that every one of us has experienced in our own unique ways. Life throws curveballs, presents us with adversity, and occasionally plunges us into chaos. This acknowledgement taps into our shared human experience, immediately forging an emotional connection with the reader. The power of posture. The heart of this chapter lies in Peterson's central message: stand up straight with your shoulders back. It's not a mere directive about maintaining good posture, rather, it is a profound metaphor for how we should approach life. As we read these words, we are reminded that our physical stance reflects our inner strength and attitude. This concept stirs emotions deep within us because it offers us agency in the face of life's chaos. It implies that, no matter the circumstances, we have the power to choose our response. We can choose to face the world with courage, to confront adversity head-on, and to maintain our dignity even when chaos threatens to engulf us. Symbolism and empowerment. The emotional resonance of this chapter is heightened by the symbolism embedded in the act of standing tall with shoulders back. It symbolizes not just a physical stance but a declaration of our inner resolve. It is a commitment to take responsibility for our own existence, acknowledging that while we may not control external events, we can control our response to them. In this symbolism, we find hope and empowerment. We are reminded that we are not helpless victims of circumstance but active participants in our own lives. The choice to stand tall amidst chaos is a choice to embody resilience, to find strength within ourselves, and to navigate the unpredictable waters of life with dignity and grace. Relevance to our lives. As we read this chapter, we cannot help but reflect on the moments in our own lives when we have allowed ourselves to slump, both physically and metaphorically. We recall the times when fear, doubt, or external pressures caused us to shrink away from our potential. Yet, Peterson's words remind us that we need not be defined by those moments. We are capable of change, growth, and transformation. The emotional resonance lies in the realization that we have the power to alter the course of our lives by simply choosing to stand tall, to face adversity, and to embrace the chaos as an opportunity for growth. A call to action. In essence, the first chapter of 12 Rules for Life is an emotional and intellectual call to action. It encourages us to confront life's challenges with unwavering courage, to embrace the chaos as a catalyst for personal growth, and to stand up straight with our shoulders back as a symbol of our resilience. Jordan Peterson's words are not just instructions, they are a powerful affirmation of the human spirit. They inspire us to embrace our vulnerabilities, confront adversity, and emerge from the chaos not as victims but as architects of our own destiny. The emotional depth of this chapter lies in its unwavering belief in the potential for each of us to find meaning, purpose, and strength, even in the most chaotic and challenging moments of life. As we continue on this transformative journey through the pages of 12 Rules for Life, we carry with us the indelible message of Chapter 1, an emotional and intellectual foundation upon which we can build a life filled with resilience, meaning, and purpose. Chapter 2, Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. Summary. In Chapter 2 of 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos, Jordan Peterson takes us on a poignant and emotionally charged exploration of self-care, responsibility, and the importance of valuing ourselves. This chapter delves deep into our human tendencies to neglect our own well-being and offers a compelling argument for treating ourselves with the same care and compassion that we would extend to others. The neglected self. Peterson begins by highlighting a pervasive issue in our lives, the tendency to prioritize the well-being of others while neglecting our own needs. He draws attention to the common scenario where we readily offer help, advice, and support to friends, family, or even strangers in distress, yet fail to extend the same level of care to ourselves. This resonates with many readers on an emotional level as it's a behavior deeply ingrained in our societal norms. The emotional tone of this chapter is one of self-reflection and self-compassion. It prompts us to consider the reasons behind this disparity in how we treat ourselves versus others. It also evokes a sense of empathy, as we realize that we often withhold the love and care we deserve. The biblical tale of the Good Samaritan. Peterson invokes the parable of the Good Samaritan from the Bible as a powerful narrative to underscore the importance of compassion, both for others and for ourselves. The story of the Samaritan who showed kindness to a stranger in dire need contrasts with the behavior of the priest and Levite who ignored the suffering man. This parable serves as an emotional reminder of the profound impact of kindness and compassion. The emotional resonance here lies in our recognition of the moral imperative to care for ourselves. It's a moment of awakening, where we understand that treating ourselves with kindness is not a selfish act but a fundamental responsibility. The value of self-care. This chapter delves into the psychological and philosophical aspects of self-care. Peterson argues that taking care of ourselves is not only a matter of physical health but also a reflection of our intrinsic worth. The emotional weight of this argument is significant, as it challenges us to confront feelings of self-worth and the societal pressures that may diminish it. The chapter's emotional core is the message that we are deserving of care, love, and attention. Peterson encourages us to view ourselves through the same lens of compassion that we use for others. It's a transformative idea that has the potential to alter the way we perceive ourselves and our place in the world. The psychology of neglect. Peterson delves into the psychological underpinnings of self-neglect, drawing on insights from evolutionary psychology and human behavior. He explores how our innate tendencies, such as procrastination and avoidance, often lead us to disregard our well-being. The emotional resonance here is one of self-recognition. We may find ourselves relating to these tendencies and the emotional turmoil they can bring. This understanding prompts us to confront the self-destructive patterns that may be holding us back from self-care. The responsibility of self-care. Perhaps the most emotionally charged moment of this chapter is when Peterson challenges us to take responsibility for our own well-being. He argues that treating ourselves with the same responsibility and care that we extend to others is not only a matter of personal growth but also a moral obligation. This message carries emotional weight as it compels us to confront any self-destructive behaviors or beliefs that have been preventing us from taking better care of ourselves. It's a call to action, an invitation to embark on a journey of self-compassion and self-improvement. A message of transformation. In conclusion, Chapter 2 of 12 Rules for Life is an emotional and intellectual exploration of the complex relationship we have with ourselves. It calls us to recognize our intrinsic worth, to treat ourselves with compassion, and to take responsibility for our own well-being. It's a chapter that resonates on a deeply personal level, touching our hearts and inspiring us to embark on a transformative journey towards self-care and self-compassion. As we carry the emotional resonance of this chapter forward into the rest of the book, we are equipped with a profound understanding that by treating ourselves with the same love and responsibility we offer to others, we have the power to transform our lives and find meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Chapter 3, Make Friends with People Who Want the Best for You. Summary. Chapter 3 of 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos, by Jordan Peterson explores the profound impact of the company we keep and the importance of cultivating relationships with individuals who genuinely wish for our well-being and success. In this emotionally charged chapter, Peterson guides us through the intricate dynamics of friendship and the transformative power of surrounding ourselves with those who truly have our best interests at heart. The influence of friendship. From the very outset, Peterson sets the emotional tone by recognizing the undeniable influence that our friends and companions wield over our lives. He acknowledges the pivotal role that friendship plays in shaping our character, values, and the trajectory of our existence. This recognition strikes a chord within us, as we reflect on the friendships that have influenced our own journeys. The emotional resonance here lies in the realization that the people we choose to associate with have a profound impact on our well-being and personal growth. It's a moment of introspection as we consider whether our friendships are uplifting or detrimental, and whether they align with our aspirations. The nature of true friendship. Peterson delves into the nature of true friendship, emphasizing that authentic friends are those who genuinely want the best for us. These friends are not driven by envy, competition, or a desire to undermine us, but rather by a sincere wish to see us thrive. The emotional weight of this concept lies in its simplicity and purity. It evokes a longing for the kind of friendships that uplift and support us unconditionally. We can't help but reflect on our own relationships and whether they align with this ideal of true friendship. Toxic relationships. In a poignant turn, Peterson addresses the emotional toll of toxic relationships, those connections that drain our energy, hinder our growth, and lead us down destructive paths. He paints a vivid picture of how such relationships can erode our well-being, often in subtle and insidious ways. The emotional resonance here is one of recognition and vulnerability. We may find ourselves identifying with the descriptions of toxic relationships, prompting us to reflect on the negative influences that may be present in our lives. It's a moment of emotional reckoning, where we confront the impact of these toxic connections. Setting boundaries. Peterson provides valuable insights into the importance of setting boundaries in relationships. He underscores that fostering healthy connections often requires us to establish clear limits and distance ourselves from individuals who bring harm or negativity into our lives. The emotional core of this section is empowerment. It encourages us to take control of our emotional well-being and make choices that protect our mental and emotional health. It's a message of self-compassion and self-preservation. The impact of positive relationships. The emotional crescendo of this chapter lies in the transformational power of positive relationships. Peterson shares stories and examples of individuals who, through the support and encouragement of true friends, have overcome adversity, addiction, and personal challenges to lead fulfilling lives. These stories serve as emotional beacons of hope, reminding us that surrounding ourselves with individuals who want the best for us can be a catalyst for personal growth and transformation. It ignites a sense of optimism, inspiring us to seek and nurture such friendships in our own lives. Choosing wisely. In conclusion, Chapter 3 of 12 Rules for Life is a heartfelt exploration of the profound impact of friendship and the importance of surrounding ourselves with individuals who genuinely wish for our well-being and success. It's a chapter that resonates deeply, touching our hearts and prompting us to reflect on the nature of our own relationships. As we carry the emotional resonance of this chapter forward into the rest of the book, we are equipped with a powerful understanding that the company we keep has the potential to shape our lives in profound ways. It's a call to cultivate authentic friendships, set healthy boundaries, and choose wisely those with whom we share our journey toward a life of meaning and fulfillment. Chapter 4. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Summary. Chapter 4 of 12 Rules for Life, by Jordan Peterson delves into the intricate world of comparison, self-worth, and the pervasive tendency to measure ourselves against others. In this emotionally charged chapter, Peterson guides us through the profound implications of comparing ourselves to our past selves rather than to external benchmarks, and he explores the emotional toll of constantly seeking validation through comparison to others. The perils of social comparison. From the very beginning of this chapter, Peterson touches on a universal human experience, the inclination to compare ourselves to others. He astutely observes how our minds are predisposed to evaluate our own worth based on the achievements, appearances, and successes of those around us. This emotional resonance strikes a chord with readers who have grappled with the damaging effects of constant comparison. The emotional tone is one of empathy and understanding. We've all been there, caught in the web of comparison, whether it's with colleagues, friends, or even strangers on social media. Peterson acknowledges this vulnerability in all of us and offers a path toward emotional liberation. The futility of external benchmarks. Peterson dissects the futility of relying on external benchmarks for self-worth. He argues that measuring ourselves against others, especially in today's hyper-connected world, can lead to a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction and insecurity. The emotional weight of this realization lies in the recognition that chasing external validation often leaves us feeling empty and unfulfilled. The emotional resonance here is one of liberation, a stirring call to free ourselves from the shackles of societal standards and expectations. It's a moment of introspection where we confront the emotional toll of constantly seeking approval from external sources. Comparing to the ideal self. One of the central messages of this chapter is the importance of comparing ourselves to our past selves, our ideal selves, rather than to others. Peterson encourages us to envision the best version of ourselves and measure our progress against that vision. The emotional impact is profound, as it shifts our focus from external validation to personal growth and self-improvement. This concept resonates deeply because it offers hope and empowerment. It reassures us that we have the capacity to shape our own destinies, that we can strive toward becoming better versions of ourselves, and that we are not beholden to the judgments or opinions of others. Embracing personal responsibility. The emotional crescendo of this chapter lies in the call to embrace personal responsibility. Peterson argues that by comparing ourselves to our past selves and taking responsibility for our own development, we can embark on a transformative journey of self-improvement. It's a message of hope, as it implies that we have the power to shape our lives and become the architects of our own destiny. This message resonates emotionally because it empowers us to take control of our own narrative. It encourages us to break free from the cycle of comparison and self-doubt and embark on a journey of self-discovery and self-betterment. The path to self-actualization. As we conclude this chapter, we are left with a profound understanding that true self-worth is not found in the external trappings of success or in comparison to others, but in our capacity for personal growth and self-improvement. The emotional resonance is one of liberation and transformation. Chapter 4 of 12 Rules for Life inspires us to cast off the chains of comparison and to embrace the power of personal responsibility. It reminds us that our worth is not determined by external measures but by our commitment to becoming the best version of ourselves. It's a message that touches our hearts and prompts us to embark on a journey of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and self-actualization. As we carry the emotional resonance of this chapter forward into the rest of the book, we are equipped with a powerful understanding that our true worth lies not in the shadows of others but in the light of our own potential. It's a call to embrace our uniqueness, to chart our own course, and to compare ourselves to who we were yesterday as we strive toward a life of fulfillment and meaning. Chapter 5, Do Not Let Your Children Do Anything That Makes You Dislike Them. Summary. Chapter 5 of 12 Rules for Life, by Jordan Peterson delves into the intricate dynamics of parenting, discipline, and the profound impact that our choices as parents have on the development and well-being of our children. In this emotionally charged chapter, Peterson guides us through the complexities of balancing love and discipline, nurturing individuality while instilling responsibility, and ultimately raising children who are not only loved but also respected. The complexity of parenting. From the very beginning, Peterson acknowledges the immense complexity of the parenting journey. He recognizes the emotional weight that comes with the responsibility of shaping young lives. It's a sentiment that resonates deeply with parents, who understand the profound impact of their actions and choices on their children's futures. The emotional tone is one of empathy and understanding, as Peterson acknowledges the challenges and anxieties that accompany the role of a parent. It's a moment of validation for parents, who often grapple with feelings of uncertainty and self-doubt. The balance of love and discipline. One of the central messages of this chapter is the delicate balance between love and discipline in parenting. Peterson argues that it's not enough to love our children unconditionally, we must also set boundaries, enforce rules, and guide them toward responsible behavior. The emotional resonance here is one of recognition, that love alone is not sufficient to raise well-adjusted and responsible children. This concept strikes an emotional chord because it challenges the myth that love means always saying yes to our children's desires. It prompts us to reflect on our own parenting approaches and whether we are effectively nurturing both the emotional well-being and character development of our children. Respect as a foundation. Peterson emphasizes the importance of instilling respect in our children from a young age. He argues that children who respect their parents and other authority figures are more likely to develop into responsible and well-adjusted adults. The emotional impact of this message lies in the realization that respect is not a one-way street, it's a foundation for healthy relationships and personal growth. This concept resonates deeply with parents who yearn for their children to grow into respectful and responsible individuals. It inspires introspection on the values and principles we are instilling in our children and whether we are fostering an environment of respect and responsibility. The consequences of permissiveness. In an emotionally charged section, Peterson explores the consequences of permissive parenting, where parents prioritize their children's immediate desires and avoid setting boundaries. He paints a vivid picture of how permissiveness can lead to entitled, undisciplined, and ultimately unhappy children. The emotional resonance here is one of concern and recognition. We may find ourselves identifying with the descriptions of permissive parenting and the potential harm it can cause. It's a moment of self-reflection where we confront the impact of our own parenting choices. The long-term vision. The emotional crescendo of this chapter lies in the call to consider the long-term vision of parenting. Peterson urges parents to view their role not just in the context of the present but as a lifelong commitment to guiding and shaping their children into responsible, respectful, and self-sufficient adults. This message carries emotional weight because it reminds us that parenting is a journey, not a destination. It encourages us to focus on the long-term outcomes we desire for our children and to make choices that align with those aspirations. A message of love and responsibility. As we conclude this chapter, we are left with a profound understanding that effective parenting requires a delicate balance of love and responsibility, of nurturing individuality while instilling respect and discipline. The emotional resonance is one of empowerment and hope, as it implies that through conscious choices and actions, we can raise children who are not only loved but also respected. Chapter 5 of 12 Rules for Life inspires us to approach parenting with love, intentionality, and a long-term perspective. It prompts us to consider the values and principles we wish to impart to our children and the importance of fostering an environment of respect and responsibility. It's a chapter that touches our hearts, acknowledging the complexities of parenting while guiding us toward a path of nurturing and raising children who are not just likable but also capable, respectful, and responsible. Chapter 6, Set Your House in Perfect Order Before You Criticize the World. Summary. In Chapter 6 of 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson delves into the profound interplay between our individual lives and the chaotic world around us. With an emotional tone that invokes introspection, responsibility, and hope, this chapter explores the idea that before we embark on the noble quest to change the world, we must first address the chaos within ourselves and set our personal lives in order. The weight of the world. Peterson opens this chapter by acknowledging the burdens and hardships that life inevitably bestows upon us. He paints a vivid picture of the suffering and chaos that permeate our world, both on a global scale and in our individual lives. This emotional resonance taps into our shared human experience, as we've all grappled with moments of uncertainty and chaos. The emotional tone is one of empathy, understanding, and recognition. Peterson acknowledges the heaviness of the world's problems and the emotional toll they can take on us. It's a moment of validation, as readers see their own struggles mirrored in the broader challenges of the world. The urge for transformation. As we delve deeper into the chapter, Peterson introduces the idea that our desire for transformation and change often begins with a yearning to address the chaos and suffering in the world. It's a noble impulse, driven by our empathy and the recognition of injustice and pain. This concept resonates emotionally because it reflects our innate human capacity for compassion and the longing to make the world a better place. The paradox of personal responsibility. The emotional core of this chapter is encapsulated in the paradox of personal responsibility. Peterson argues that before we can effectively contribute to the betterment of the world, we must first take responsibility for our own lives, set our houses in order, and confront the chaos within ourselves. This idea challenges the notion that we can change the world without first addressing our own internal struggles. The emotional resonance here is one of self-reflection and accountability. It prompts us to consider our own lives and the areas where chaos may be lurking, whether in our relationships, mental health, or personal habits. It's a moment of introspection where we confront the importance of personal responsibility in creating positive change. The lure of ideology. Peterson explores the allure of ideological beliefs and their potential to lead us astray. He discusses how individuals can become enamored with grand ideologies and utopian visions, often neglecting the practical steps needed to create meaningful change. This emotional resonance lies in the recognition of how ideology can seduce us into believing that societal problems can be solved by simply adhering to a set of beliefs, rather than through individual responsibility and action. Confronting personal chaos. The emotional crescendo of this chapter is the call to confront the chaos within ourselves. Peterson argues that by addressing our own suffering and personal struggles, we gain the strength and clarity needed to make a positive impact on the world. This message carries emotional weight, as it offers hope and empowerment. It encourages us to take ownership of our lives, confront our demons, and embark on a journey of self-improvement. Finding meaning in responsibility. In conclusion, Chapter 6 of 12 Rules for Life inspires us to recognize the interplay between our individual lives and the chaotic world around us. It encourages us to take responsibility for our own well-being and personal struggles as a foundational step toward creating positive change in the world. This chapter carries an emotional resonance that touches our hearts and prompts us to reflect on the importance of personal responsibility, accountability, and self-improvement. It's a call to set our own houses in order, to confront the chaos within ourselves, and to find meaning and purpose in the transformative power of individual responsibility. As we carry the emotional resonance of this chapter forward into the rest of the book, we are equipped with a profound understanding that the path to changing the world begins with changing ourselves. It's a call to embrace personal responsibility, confront our inner chaos, and find purpose in the pursuit of self-improvement and positive impact on the world around us. Chapter 7, Pursue What is Meaningful, Not What is Expedient. Summary. Chapter 7 of 12 Rules for Life explores the profound theme of meaning and the choices we make in our lives. Jordan Peterson invites us on an emotional journey to ponder the fundamental question of what truly matters, emphasizing the importance of pursuing meaningful endeavors rather than settling for expedient but ultimately empty pursuits. The search for meaning. From the very beginning, Peterson acknowledges the inherent human quest for meaning. He paints a vivid picture of the existential questions that have haunted humanity for centuries, questions about the purpose of life, the nature of suffering, and the pursuit of happiness. This emotional resonance taps into the core of our humanity, as we've all grappled with the desire to find meaning in our lives. The emotional tone is one of introspection and soul-searching. Peterson invites us to engage in a profound self-examination, to confront the questions of meaning that have gnawed at our hearts, and to consider the paths we've chosen in our own pursuit of purpose. Expediency versus meaning. Peterson explores the dichotomy between expedient choices and meaningful ones. He argues that expedient choices are often driven by immediate gratification and short-term gains, while meaningful choices require sacrifice, effort, and a deeper sense of purpose. The emotional resonance here is one of recognition, that we've all faced moments where the easy, expedient choice seemed tempting, even if it didn't align with our long-term values and aspirations. This concept prompts us to reflect on our own lives and the choices we've made. Have we pursued what is expedient, opting for quick fixes and immediate pleasures, or have we had the courage to chase what is truly meaningful, even if it involves struggle and sacrifice? The siren call of expediency. Peterson explores the allure of expedient choices and the psychological mechanisms that drive us toward them. He discusses how factors like instant gratification, avoidance of discomfort, and conformity to societal norms can pull us away from the pursuit of meaningful goals. The emotional resonance here is one of vulnerability, as we recognize the power of these forces in our own lives. This section serves as a reminder of the internal battles we all face, the tug of instant gratification, the fear of discomfort, and the pressure to conform. It's an emotional reckoning as we confront the ways in which these forces may have influenced our choices. The price of meaninglessness. In a poignant moment, Peterson delves into the consequences of living a life devoid of meaning. He describes the emotional and psychological toll of aimlessness, highlighting how it can lead to feelings of despair, nihilism, and even self-destruction. The emotional impact is profound, as we confront the potential darkness that can envelop our lives in the absence of meaning. This exploration resonates deeply because it touches on our deepest fears, the fear of living a life without purpose, of succumbing to meaninglessness, and of losing ourselves in a void of despair. It serves as a wake-up call to the significance of pursuing meaning. The hero's journey. Peterson draws from mythology and literature to illustrate the concept of the hero's journey, a narrative archetype in which individuals embark on transformative quests that involve sacrifice and growth. The emotional resonance here is one of inspiration, as we recognize the hero's journey as a symbol of the pursuit of meaningful goals and the personal transformation that accompanies it. This concept inspires us to view our own lives as heroic journeys, filled with challenges and opportunities for growth. It encourages us to embrace the call to adventure and the pursuit of meaning as central themes in our own narratives. Pursuing meaningful values. The emotional crescendo of this chapter is the call to pursue meaningful values in our lives. Peterson argues that meaning is found in the alignment of our actions with values that transcend the expedient desires of the moment. This message carries emotional weight, as it prompts us to reflect on our own values and whether our choices align with what truly matters to us. This call to pursue meaningful values serves as a powerful reminder that we have the agency to shape our lives and infuse them with purpose. It's a moment of empowerment, as we recognize that the pursuit of meaning is not a passive endeavor but an active choice. A message of hope. In conclusion, Chapter 7 of 12 Rules for Life is a heartfelt exploration of the quest for meaning in our lives. It encourages us to confront the choices we make, the values we hold, and the paths we follow in our pursuit of purpose. It's a chapter that touches our hearts, challenging us to reflect on the balance between expedience and meaning in our own lives. Chapter 8, Tell the Truth, or, at least, Don't Lie, Summary. Chapter 8 of 12 Rules for Life, by Jordan Peterson delves into the profound and often complex theme of honesty, truth-telling, and the moral implications of our words and actions. In this emotionally charged chapter, Peterson guides us through the importance of telling the truth and explores the transformative power of honesty in our personal lives and in society. The weight of honesty. From the very beginning, Peterson acknowledges the weight of honesty and the moral imperative to tell the truth. He paints a vivid picture of the consequences of dishonesty, both on an individual level and in society as a whole. This emotional resonance taps into our shared human experience, as we've all grappled with moments of deception, lies, and the impact of truth on our lives. The emotional tone is one of introspection and moral reckoning. Peterson invites us to confront the choices we've made in our own lives regarding truth and deception. It's a moment of self-examination, as we consider the moral implications of our words and actions. The power of truth. Peterson explores the idea that truth is not merely an abstract concept but a fundamental force that shapes our existence. He argues that truth is a force of order that counteracts chaos and suffering. The emotional resonance here is one of hope and empowerment, that by embracing truth, we can bring order and meaning into our lives. This concept prompts us to reflect on the role of truth in our own lives and its potential to bring clarity, authenticity, and purpose. It's a moment of recognition that truth is not just a moral virtue but a transformative force. The consequences of deception. In a poignant turn, Peterson delves into the consequences of deception and the moral decay that can result from a pattern of dishonesty. He discusses how lies can erode trust, damage relationships, and undermine the fabric of society. The emotional impact is profound, as we confront the potential harm that deception can cause. This exploration resonates deeply because it touches on our own experiences with deception, both as perpetrators and as victims. It prompts us to consider the emotional toll of dishonesty on our relationships and personal integrity. The truth as a path to personal growth. Peterson discusses how telling the truth, even when it's difficult, is a path to personal growth and transformation. He argues that by confronting our own flaws, mistakes, and truths, we can become better individuals and build stronger relationships. This message carries emotional weight, as it encourages us to view truth-telling as a means of self-improvement and growth. This concept inspires introspection, prompting us to consider the areas in our own lives where honesty can lead to personal growth and stronger connections with others. It's a moment of empowerment, as we recognize that truth is not a source of shame but a catalyst for positive change. The responsibility of speech. The emotional crescendo of this chapter lies in the call to recognize the moral responsibility of our speech. Peterson argues that our words have the power to shape reality and influence the world around us. This message carries emotional weight because it compels us to consider the impact of our words on others and on society as a whole. It's a call to take ownership of our speech, to be mindful of the truths we convey, and to recognize the ethical dimension of our communication. It's a moment of moral awakening, as we understand that our words can be tools for healing, understanding, and positive change. A message of redemption. In conclusion, Chapter 8 of 12 Rules for Life is a heartfelt exploration of the importance of honesty and truth-telling in our lives. It encourages us to confront the moral implications of our words and actions, and it highlights the transformative power of truth in our personal growth and in society. This chapter carries an emotional resonance that touches our hearts and prompts us to reflect on the role of truth in our own lives. It's a call to recognize the moral responsibility of our speech, to embrace truth as a force of order and meaning, and to understand that honesty is not just a virtue but a path to personal redemption and societal improvement. As we carry the emotional resonance of this chapter forward into the rest of the book, we are equipped with a profound understanding that truth and honesty are not only moral imperatives but also sources of personal growth, authenticity, and positive change. It's a call to be truthful in our words and actions, to embrace the transformative power of truth, and to contribute to a more honest and morally responsible world. Chapter 9, Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. Summary. Chapter 9 of 12 Rules for Life, by Jordan Peterson is a profound exploration of the art of listening, humility, and the wisdom that can be gained by assuming that others have something valuable to offer. In this emotionally charged chapter, Peterson guides us through the transformative power of open-mindedness and the importance of approaching conversations with a genuine desire to learn and understand. The lost art of listening. From the very beginning, Peterson acknowledges the lost art of listening in today's fast-paced and opinion-driven world. He paints a vivid picture of how people often engage in conversations with the sole intention of asserting their own views, rather than genuinely listening to others. This emotional resonance taps into our shared human experience, as we've all encountered moments of being unheard or dismissed. The emotional tone is one of introspection and recognition. Peterson invites us to consider our own communication habits and whether we are truly engaging in meaningful conversations with an open heart and mind. It's a moment of self-examination, as we confront the patterns of communication that may hinder our personal growth and connection with others. The humility of ignorance. Peterson explores the concept of humility in the face of our own ignorance. He argues that recognizing the limits of our knowledge and assuming that others may have valuable insights can open the door to genuine learning and personal growth. The emotional resonance here is one of humility, as we confront the reality that none of us possess all the answers. This concept prompts us to reflect on our own attitudes toward knowledge and whether we approach conversations with a willingness to learn from others. It's a moment of humility, as we acknowledge that we don't have all the answers and that there is wisdom to be found in the experiences and perspectives of others. The power of conversation. In a poignant turn, Peterson discusses the transformative power of conversation and the potential for growth and understanding that lies within it. He describes how meaningful conversations can bridge gaps, foster empathy, and lead to personal insights. The emotional impact is profound, as we recognize the potential for connection and wisdom that can be unlocked through genuine dialogue. This exploration resonates deeply because it touches on our own experiences with meaningful conversations, those moments when we felt truly heard, understood, and enriched by the perspectives of others. It prompts us to consider the role of dialogue in our lives and whether we are actively seeking out opportunities for such growth. The dangers of certainty. Peterson delves into the dangers of certainty and the closed-mindedness that can accompany it. He discusses how rigid beliefs and the unwillingness to consider alternative viewpoints can lead to ideological extremism and polarization. The emotional resonance here is one of caution, as we confront the potential harm of dogmatic thinking. This section serves as a reminder of the importance of intellectual humility and the willingness to question our own beliefs. It's an emotional reckoning as we consider the potential consequences of closed-mindedness in our own lives and in society at large. The art of genuine listening. The emotional crescendo of this chapter lies in the call to cultivate the art of genuine listening. Peterson encourages us to approach conversations with a humble curiosity, assuming that others may have valuable insights to share. This message carries emotional weight, as it prompts us to consider the ways in which we can be more open-minded and receptive to the wisdom of others. It's a call to set aside our preconceptions, our need to be right, and our desire to dominate conversations. Instead, it encourages us to engage with empathy, compassion, and a sincere desire to learn from those around us. A message of connection. In conclusion, Chapter 9 of 12 Rules for Life is a heartfelt exploration of the art of listening and the transformative power of humility in conversation. It encourages us to recognize the value of assuming that others may have something valuable to offer and to approach dialogue with an open heart and mind. This chapter carries an emotional resonance that touches our hearts and prompts us to reflect on our own communication habits. It's a call to cultivate the art of genuine listening, to embrace humility in the face of our own ignorance, and to seek out meaningful conversations that lead to personal growth and connection with others. Chapter 10, Be Precise in Your Speech, Summary. Chapter 10 of 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson is a deep exploration of the importance of precise and meaningful communication in our lives. In this emotionally charged chapter, Peterson guides us through the profound implications of the words we choose, the power of language, and the transformative impact of speaking the truth with clarity and intention. The significance of words. From the very beginning, Peterson underscores the significance of words and their role in shaping our reality. He paints a vivid picture of how imprecise or careless speech can lead to confusion, misunderstanding, and even conflict. This emotional resonance taps into our shared human experience, as we've all encountered moments when words have caused harm or confusion. The emotional tone is one of introspection and recognition. Peterson invites us to consider our own communication habits and the impact of our words on others. It's a moment of self-examination, as we confront the power of language in our lives. The power of precision. Peterson explores the idea that precision in speech is not just a matter of semantics but a reflection of our inner clarity and understanding. He argues that using precise language forces us to confront our own thoughts and beliefs, leading to greater self-awareness and the potential for transformation. The emotional resonance here is one of empowerment, as we recognize that precise speech can be a tool for personal growth and meaningful connection. This concept prompts us to reflect on the clarity of our own communication and whether our words accurately convey our thoughts and intentions. It's a moment of empowerment, as we recognize the potential for transformation that lies in our ability to choose our words carefully. The dangers of carelessness. In a poignant turn, Peterson discusses the dangers of careless speech and the potential for harm that comes with imprecise or thoughtless words. He describes how vague or inflammatory language can escalate conflicts, breed resentment, and perpetuate chaos. The emotional impact is profound, as we confront the potential consequences of our own careless speech. This exploration resonates deeply because it touches on our own experiences with the repercussions of words spoken without consideration. It prompts us to consider the emotional toll of careless communication on our relationships and society at large. Speaking the truth. Peterson delves into the concept of speaking the truth and its moral significance. He argues that speaking the truth with clarity and precision is not just a matter of honesty but a moral duty that can lead to personal and societal transformation. The emotional resonance here is one of moral awakening, as we confront the ethical dimension of our speech. This section serves as a reminder of the importance of truth-telling in our lives and its potential to lead to greater understanding, trust, and positive change. It's an emotional reckoning as we consider the role of honesty in our own communication. Confronting chaos with clarity. The emotional crescendo of this chapter lies in the call to confront chaos with clarity in our speech. Peterson encourages us to be precise in our communication, to choose our words carefully, and to strive for clarity in our interactions with others. This message carries emotional weight, as it prompts us to consider the ways in which we can contribute to order and understanding through our speech. It's a call to take ownership of our words, to be conscious of the impact they have on others, and to recognize the potential for transformation that lies in speaking the truth with precision and intention. A message of transformation. In conclusion, Chapter 10 of 12 Rules for Life is a heartfelt exploration of the importance of precise and meaningful communication in our lives. It encourages us to recognize the significance of the words we choose, the power of language, and the transformative impact of speaking the truth with clarity and intention. This chapter carries an emotional resonance that touches our hearts and prompts us to reflect on our own communication habits. It's a call to be precise in our speech, to embrace the moral duty of speaking the truth, and to contribute to greater understanding and order in our personal lives and in society. As we carry the emotional resonance of this chapter forward into the rest of the book, we are equipped with a profound understanding that our words are not just a means of communication but a tool for personal and societal transformation. It's a call to be mindful of the words we choose, to confront chaos with clarity, and to recognize the potential for positive change that lies in our ability to communicate with precision and intention. Chapter 11, Do Not Bother Children When They Are Skateboarding, Summary. Chapter 11 of 12 Rules for Life, by Jordan Peterson is a profound exploration of the importance of allowing children the freedom to take risks, make mistakes, and explore the world on their terms. In this emotionally charged chapter, Peterson guides us through the transformative power of resilience, responsibility, and the valuable life lessons that can be learned through unstructured play and adventure. The nature of risk. From the very beginning, Peterson delves into the nature of risk and the role it plays in children's development. He paints a vivid picture of how exposing children to manageable risks can build their confidence, resilience, and problem-solving skills. This emotional resonance taps into our shared human experience, as we've all grappled with the desire to protect our loved ones while also recognizing the importance of allowing them to take risks and grow. The emotional tone is one of introspection and recognition. Peterson invites us to consider our own attitudes toward risk and whether we are providing children with opportunities for unstructured play and exploration. It's a moment of self-examination, as we confront our own fears and desires as parents and caregivers. The value of resilience. Peterson explores the concept of resilience and its role in shaping children's character. He argues that facing challenges, making mistakes, and learning from them are essential aspects of building resilience and preparing children for the complexities of life. The emotional resonance here is one of empowerment, as we recognize that resilience is not just a trait but a skill that can be cultivated. This concept prompts us to reflect on the importance of allowing children to experience setbacks and learn from their failures. It's a moment of empowerment, as we recognize our role in helping children develop the strength to navigate life's challenges. The lessons of play. In a poignant turn, Peterson discusses the lessons that can be learned through unstructured play and exploration. He describes how children can develop creativity, social skills, and a sense of responsibility through activities like skateboarding. The emotional impact is profound, as we recognize the potential for growth and learning that lies within the realm of play. This exploration resonates deeply because it touches on our own experiences with the life lessons we've gained from childhood play and adventure. It prompts us to consider the role of unstructured play in our lives and in the lives of the children we care about. The importance of responsibility. Peterson delves into the concept of responsibility and how it can be instilled in children through activities that require them to make decisions and face the consequences of their actions. He argues that taking responsibility for one's choices is a crucial aspect of character development. The emotional resonance here is one of understanding, as we recognize the value of teaching children to be accountable for their decisions. This section serves as a reminder of the importance of fostering a sense of responsibility in children and the role it plays in their development into responsible and capable adults. It's an emotional reckoning as we consider our own parenting and caregiving practices. Respecting the individual. The emotional crescendo of this chapter lies in the call to respect the individuality of children and to recognize their need for autonomy and self-discovery. Peterson encourages us to allow children the freedom to explore their interests and passions, even if those pursuits involve risk and uncertainty. This message carries emotional weight, as it prompts us to consider the ways in which we can support and nurture the unique potential of each child. It's a call to trust in the abilities and judgment of children, to provide them with opportunities for growth and self-expression, and to respect their desire for independence and exploration. A message of empowerment. In conclusion, Chapter 11 of 12 Rules for Life is a heartfelt exploration of the importance of allowing children the freedom to take risks, make mistakes, and explore the world on their terms. It encourages us to recognize the value of resilience, responsibility, and unstructured play in children's development. This chapter carries an emotional resonance that touches our hearts and prompts us to reflect on our own roles as parents, caregivers, and mentors. It's a call to empower children to navigate life's challenges with confidence and to embrace the lessons that can be learned through adventure, exploration, and unstructured play. Chapter 12, Pet a Cat When You Encounter One on the Street. Summary. Chapter 12 of 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson is a heartfelt exploration of the profound lessons that can be gleaned from our interactions with the simple joys of life, such as petting a cat. In this emotionally charged chapter, Peterson guides us through the transformative power of small moments of connection, gratitude, and the importance of finding meaning and solace in the everyday. The beauty of small moments. From the very beginning, Peterson invites us to pause and appreciate the beauty of small moments in our lives. He paints a vivid picture of the simple pleasure of encountering a cat on the street and taking a moment to offer it affection. This emotional resonance taps into our shared human experience, as we've all encountered moments of unexpected joy and connection in the midst of our busy lives. The emotional tone is one of appreciation and recognition. Peterson encourages us to reflect on the moments of beauty and connection that we may overlook in our daily routines. It's a moment of self-examination, as we confront the tendency to rush through life without savoring the small, meaningful moments. The power of presence. Peterson explores the concept of presence and the transformative impact of being fully engaged in the present moment. He argues that these moments of connection, whether with a cat or another aspect of life, offer us a respite from the chaos and suffering of the world. The emotional resonance here is one of solace, as we recognize the potential for finding comfort and meaning in the midst of life's challenges. This concept prompts us to reflect on the importance of mindfulness and the role of small moments of connection in our well-being. It's a moment of solace and empowerment, as we recognize that we have the power to choose presence and gratitude in our lives. The lessons of gratitude. In a poignant turn, Peterson discusses the lessons of gratitude and the importance of acknowledging the blessings that surround us. He describes how these small moments, like petting a cat, can remind us of the beauty and goodness that exist in the world. The emotional impact is profound, as we confront the potential for joy and contentment that lies in the practice of gratitude. This exploration resonates deeply because it touches on our own experiences with the transformative power of gratitude. It prompts us to consider the role of thankfulness in our lives and how it can shape our perspective and well-being. Finding meaning in the everyday. Peterson delves into the idea that meaning can be found in the everyday moments of life, not just in grand achievements or monumental events. He argues that these small moments of connection and presence can provide us with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. The emotional resonance here is one of inspiration, as we recognize the potential for finding meaning in the ordinary. This section serves as a reminder of the importance of embracing the richness of everyday life and the beauty that can be found in the seemingly mundane. It's an emotional awakening as we consider the potential for joy and fulfillment in our daily experiences. The healing power of connection. The emotional crescendo of this chapter lies in the call to embrace the healing power of connection and the significance of finding solace and meaning in small moments of interaction. Peterson encourages us to be open to these moments of connection and to recognize their potential to bring us comfort and joy. It's a call to pause, to savor the beauty of the present moment, and to offer and receive simple acts of kindness and affection. It's a reminder that in the midst of life's chaos and challenges, we have the capacity to find moments of solace and connection that can bring us peace and gratitude. A message of embracing the everyday. In conclusion, Chapter 12 of 12 Rules for Life is a heartfelt exploration of the importance of embracing the everyday moments of life and finding solace, meaning, and gratitude in small interactions, such as petting a cat on the street. It encourages us to recognize the beauty and joy that can be found in the ordinary. This chapter carries an emotional resonance that touches our hearts and prompts us to reflect on our own lives. It's a call to be present in the moment, to practice gratitude, and to embrace the simple joys of life. It's a reminder that even in the face of chaos and suffering, we can find moments of connection, beauty, and solace that enrich our lives and nourish our souls.